Je te dis, OK, c'est bon.
Welcome back. I hope you can see us and hear us. We've had an unexpected issue which never happened before. So Greta, we're coming back to you because you have a hard cut. So can we just come back to that discovery phase and can you tell us about it within the next 8 minutes left, please, with you?
Yes. So, discovery is really about getting the project set up for success. And so when we look at the 4 phases, discover is the first phase of that journey. If we can go back up, I don't know what, yes. So the question about digital transformation, right? Pega is known to provide and be a change maker when it comes to digital transformation within organizations. We re-look and re-envision what the customer experience would be, what the operational experience would be, and we make sure that whenever we implement something, that we understand what the value is to the customer. So if you look at the next slide, what you'll see is, what you'll see is that we, again, have a 4-prong phase to how we implement. And what we ideally want to do is make sure that we do incremental value to our customers so that we can implement value to them sooner and then iterate on that so that the value keeps coming as they change their organization. So let's go through and say, how does that actually happen? Well, we do it in 3 different ways. And so if you go to the next slide, go back up. Okay. Oh, you know what? It is not showing up. Do you want me to present instead?
Well, if you feel more comfortable, let's do it that way.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and present. Share screen. Let me see. Let me just share. Can you see my screen? Can you see the presentation?
Yes. Yes, yay! It's on.
Okay, perfect. So in the discover phase, again, it's the initial phase. What I do as a business architect is I work with other team members, namely what we call a PDL and a technical lead. And we work with clients to really figure out the vision of what the system and how the project, what we're aiming to achieve. So we really try to set it up for success by trying to understand the business landscape, what our problems and priorities are, and we offer them the value that we want to bring with our solution. 3 ways that we do it is we try to understand what their landscape is. What is the customer's journey? And then we decide from there how to compartmentalize it into small chunks. And we call that micro journeys. And we then look at the value for what we want to implement. We prioritize that, and then we size the actual work. As we define some of those things, the client then agrees, and then we prepare for delivery. So we look at what would the team look like. Are we ready for what we think the project is going to start up, what their governance is going to be? And at the very end, we have what we call a go live plan, which is basically an envision with an end in mind. So really understanding the business benefits and the value that we would offer to the client. I'm going to talk a little bit about micro journeys and journeys. But on a whole, I think a little later, Paulo's going to talk a little bit more in detail what that is. But the idea of a customer journey is really understanding their process. So it could be operational, it could be understanding their customer's experience with them and measuring that in terms of the chunks of work that they do. And so what Pega does is really kind of a workflow management. And what we do is we take that journey and we separate that out. And it could be through channels or through different business interactions. Once we've identified some of those things, we basically go through and we review their existing processes, and we then start thinking about the future state. What if we are able to solve some of their pain points? Or how can we delight the existing customers or the existing users of the system for things that they currently don't have? And we propose a solution to them. We either take some of our applications and we say, here's the gap that we need to extend from our applications, and this is how we customize it for your work and your processes. Or we do what we call design thinking, and we look at kind of what their world would be if there wasn't any existing application that we wanted to keep in mind. After we do that, then we start looking at the implications of what their technical landscapes are, what their existing systems, how we integrate to them, what their future state process would be. Okay. As part of that solution, we then determine, does this really provide value to our clients? And the first piece is, what is the business value? And we talk about the revenue, the decrease in cost, so the increase in revenue, and potentially our services. We also look at the technical value. So what is our differentiator? The processes, the systems, and the people that are associated with that. So how can we improve their SLAs or decrease their operational cost? Later on, I know that we're running a little bit out of time. I will talk back when we come back to how we understand those values, how we assess it, and then how do we again get ready to size it and then prepare for delivery. And so I am going to stop sharing at this moment. Okay. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of a tinkling of what the cover is.
You know what they say, you give a little spoonful, they have a taste and they want more, so they will have to come back. Thank you so much, Gretel, for the time. I know you have a hard cut. We'll take it over with Paulo, but we'll make sure that we have all the details ready once everybody is going to come to us and ask more questions. Thank you one more time. Enjoy the rest of the day. Paulo, you're with us, and I think Jibril is also still backstage, so we'll have a couple of questions for him. So, Paulo, we started talking about the micro journeys. So, Gretel talked about that discovery phase where we need to understand the client's landscape, the challenges that they're facing, and propose a solution. So can you just walk us through those micro journey that Gretel did mention a little bit earlier?
Absolutely. Let me try to share my screen as well.
Sure.
How can I share screen? Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it just popped up.
Okay, sorry for the scrolling. Let me find. Okay, so let's talk about micro journeys and the 3 pillars. Okay, guys. So here we have the 3 pillars, which we have case types and decision strategies, channels, personas and channels, integrations and data in order to serve the customer outcome. So let me try to be very, very practical for you guys. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, so let me provide you a real bank example. So this is a real bank example from one of our clients. And as you can see, this micro journey is the intake to opening a bank account, a new bank account for a new client. So we have the 3 pillars. We have the case types, personas and channels, data and interfaces. And as you can see in this slide, there is not a single row of code. Everything is visual, right? Everything is modeled through visual metaphors. So as you can see here, we have a case type, which is the account opening request. We are serving 3 personas, the customer, the advisor, the supervisor. We have 2 channels in scope. Is the self-service portal on the internet. where the end users can go and request the creation of the account, and also through a call center in a desktop application. And we have the data and interfaces, right? So as you can see here, this is the case type design where BAs can design the transaction from beginning to an end. We have the three stages: intake, review, and opening. Intaking the request, reviewing the request by a bank manager, approving or rejecting, and finally, if approved, opening the account. And we can also document business rules to be dynamic display on the UI. So if it's a traditional type of account, is it revocable, irrevocable? We have the bank capacity and the information to be collected, for an example here, on data. So the proof of identification data object, we can collect all of the properties or fields which we need to capture in this microjourney.
So, Paulo, allow me to just interrupt you 1 second here. See, if I were to make a comparison between what you just showed and some other tools, so there are rules behind these micro journeys. So if I were to make a comparison, I would be thinking about an Excel sheet, when you want to build a not a macro, but no, actually, when you build a macro or you want to build a graph, you need to validate your data. You need to have those specific formulas to make sure that the data you're using is going to be put in a certain way, and then you validate the data, and then you get into a graph. Can that comparison be a good one?
Not necessarily. I would say that this is something more technical on the system architecture track. On the BA, on the business architecture track, is more visual. So
Okay.
if you are describing when rules, when a specific situation happened, then this, then
Yes,
do this. If a specific condition is met, then do this. So these are more
exactly.
technical, are more rules which are configured by our system architects rather than by our BAs. We can capture these, but we should not be the ones accountable to key in such technical rules, such complex or not complex, but configurations. So
Configurations. Okay.
yeah. So if you guys are pursuing more a business in terms of what Gretel was explaining to capture business value, help the client to realize investments, decrease costs, increase revenues, increase sales, help profitability, then the business architecture is your path forward. If you're
All right.
thinking more about the technical challenges, configuring, and as you can see, it's a low code. A when rule is a very basic rule because the application, the platform really writes the code for you.
Okay. So, and this is the interesting part. So, I would say you have the technical guy behind the whole, mathematics and the whole formulas writing behind the tool, and then you have the BA, who's going to be the one actually putting the building blocks together based on the client's needs and objectives. So, one question I have for you is, what does it take to be a BA? Do you need to have any specific super technical engineering skills? I mean, me with my background, do you think I can become a BA if I understand the whole block thing?
I think so because one of the key success factors for a BA is just to be curious and to be open to learn new things. So one of the critical components for a BA is first is to understand Pega technology capabilities. So for an example, if Pega is capable to onboard a client in the internet or handling a phone call, right? Or just exposing the application in a mobile phone. These are the aspects that you need to know. So if you are someone curious and like to learn, you can take, for an example, our product overview. making sure that you can understand what our products can offer, and especially if you like to solve problems, solve business problems. So what are the pains from our client that we can creatively help to solve the client problems utilizing Pega products? This is what makes you a great Pega BA.
Wonderful. So we have this youth with this massive potential. Currently, what we're seeing is that, they have an interest in anything related to the digital revolution. They want to be Java developers. They want to speak in Python. They want to become community managers. They want to become engineers. So this I've said it in my LinkedIn post, and I've said it earlier when I introduced you. This represents an era of opportunities. So if you're curious, if you understand problem solving, BA could be another profession that could lend them a job, right?
Absolutely,
And
especially
I
if
love
you
that.
think strategically. If you think strategically, for an example, our clients, they are struggling with a shortage in terms of a professional developers. So what is going to help that problem is a low code, no code platforms. So as you can see, BAs are going to be needed for a long time because we understand strategy, we understand business, we understand technology that our products can offer, and we can make the things happen. Bridge, closing the bridge between business and technical folks, because it's very difficult to have experienced developers who can build an application from scratch. So I would say that the BAs are going to be very, very needed on the field for the upcoming years.
All right, just let's let's take it a little bit one tone down. The thing is, currently, what we see is a lot of these young people being interested in developers training. So, would you say that having a good base in coding could lead to being a good BA? That's number one. And number two, well, I would say, how do you let's assume I'm in okay, let's assume I'm a training in Java development, and then I
Mhm.
hear about BA. What would it take for me to make that shift from Java development to being a BA?
Well, that's a great question. I would say that I think that's going to be a combination of both skills and roles. The combination of a senior professional developers and BA. What I'm trying to convey is that more and more we are going to see BAs, business architects, citizen developers working collaboratively with professional developers, or in other words, having delegating the heavy technical aspect of the implementation to developers, and owning the not the so heavy technicalities of the implementation as a BAs and citizen developers, right? So I would say that in order to make this transition from developers to a BAs, it's like business. Try to understand strategy and really looking for solving client problems, and especially trying to learn soft skills, right? Because you can be a very good developer, just heads down coding, but to be a BA, you need to have your soft skills really,
So, developers, you still have a good future ahead. Do not worry. So, there is one question that popped in the chat from the audience. Hervé Marie Mandebi asked, is it possible to do it when you have a degree in accounting?
Oh, absolutely. Because if you have a degree in accounting, you know how a company must operate to be profitable. And if you know how a company must operate to be profitable, you can understand business cases. And if you understand business cases, you know which kind of a technology the client will need to increase sales or decrease operating
decrease
costs.
the costs. Exactly. You understand the OPEX, CAPEX issue,
Yes.
challenge, you name it. You understand operational challenges that a company can face and how we need to save money we need to do more with less. So, Hervé Marie, I hope we were able to spark your interest into low code, no code, and becoming a BA. So, I said it earlier, we had a little technical issue. We were supposed to have two students from a tech school in Ghana with their questions. So I'm going to ask real quick, do we have our surprise guests? You know, the perks of being live, you never know what can happen. In 3 years with 10,000 coders doing webinars, this has never, ever happened before. So thank you so much for sticking with us. So just asking in the backstage, do we have any of our students tonight?
No, they are not here, but we send the link so that if
Okay.
anyone want to come, he or she can.
Well, then let me do the following. I do have actually two of the questions which have been asked beforehand. So Paulo, Jibril, we need you here. Can you come and join us, please? So Paulo, Jibril, there are two questions, as I said. The first one, here is Soleil.
Okay.
Hi, Soleil. Oh my God, you made it, Soleil. Hi, Soleil. Thank you so much for sticking with us. All right, Soleil, before I ask the questions that we got in the chat, can you really quickly introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your age, the name of your school, what you do, what you're learning currently at school, and ask your question, please.
All right. First of all, let's see. My name is Sule Garba Abdurazak. I'm from Niger. Currently, I'm a student at IPMC in Ghana. I'm 23 years old. And let's say here in IPMC, I'm studying information technology, which is gonna be a great field for me. Yeah. And also, let me say that I really appreciate whatever you have said since the beginning till now. I'm really enjoying the session, even though at sometimes I was out, but thank you very much. Yeah, this is it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Soleil. So, Soleil, I don't know if anything popped in your mind as, this is interesting. I can picture myself doing this or doing that. Or if generally speaking, is there anything you want to ask to our panelists today when it comes to obviously low code, no code?
All right. The first question is that at the end of this webinar, right? What is the importance of low or no code, which let's say I'm going to implement in the let's say work field or something like that within an organization, or if I want to do a project or something like that, or if I can get an opportunity to be more in touch with Pega and let's say they can give me more training about what they do exactly.
That's a wonderful question. Paulo, Jibril, actually, I'm looking at Jibril first. Jibril, one of our 10,000 coders members who is the head of the low-code, no-code community. Jibril, I'll hand it to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sulay, for joining us. We are so pleased to have you here. And I mean, your question is really, really pertinent. I mean, many people hear about no-code, low-code. And when you hear the history of programming, people used to spend a lot of time generating text-based code in many languages. This was, from 40 years ago to now. But, as the machine evolved, as the technology evolved, now the programming is trying to let the machine do the most complicated part of the code. So instead of having humans create lines of text, we are expecting the machine do it for us in a smarter way. So that's why we talk about no code. So it's just a way to say that you don't need to spend a lot of time writing text code, but the machine will generate the code. You will focus on your business problem, and you will try to model your business problem using graphics based tools that will generate the code behind the scene for you. So basically, when we talk about no code, low code, it's just helping human beings better focus on the way they want to use the machine to help achieve their business goals, and even sometimes not about business, but life-changing goals, right? And the software is there to help you automate that part.
Okay,
So
that's
if
that.
you want to learn more about Pega, we have what we call the Pega Academy, which is an online site open to all people interested in learning Pega and taking the courses and also passing the certification. I think the team will be able to give you the link where you can create your own account and start progressively learning. And we have seen many people who were able to learn on the self-paced courses and pass the certification.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. I have one question, please.
Of course, go ahead.
Please, during the session, right, I've got some information. Like I want, let's say if they can share the lights on it. Like, can you share any best practice, let's say best practices for ensuring smooth, let's say transitions between the discover, build, and adopt? But even though they talk only about discover, but this question I've, let's say, arranged it since the beginning. So I don't know if they can.
You are so ahead of everything, Sule. But that's wonderful. It shows the interest. So you know what? Let's just answer the question, because we have a plan to dive a little bit more into the other phases, and the idea is really to give the transition. But I'll leave it to Paulo and Jibril to give you the answer. Prime time.
All right. Thank you very much.
So Paulo, I'll let you answer here.
Okay. Well, in terms of the phases, I would say that the transition should be smooth, the first. But I would say that the discover, for an example, the intention of the discover is to set the scope. So what kind of business problems we wanted to solve in this particular project, right? Because a project is different from a routine. A project has a beginning, it has an end. Routine is something that you do all day. So the discover is to set the scope, the boundaries of what the project is going to implement. Then we have the prepare. So the prepare phase is knowing the structure required to the application that you are going to implement, right? The structure in terms of data and interfaces, personas and channels, and case types. And then we have the build phase. Build phase is just sitting down with the client, understanding the problems, documenting requirements, and utilizing Pega platform to directly capture the objectives of that particular outcome expected by the client. This is the build phase. Build phase is where, as the Brill was explaining, is the phase that we module the process utilizing the visual representations. This is the building phase. We can test, we can validate, and we can approve. And in Pega, we prefer the agile approach. So we use user stories. We also leverage Scrum ceremonies, right? Sprint planning. So be familiar with any kind of agile approach or agile methodology to implement software. And we have the adopt. So the adopt phase is where we plan to put the application into production and go live. So in the adopt, we can prepare along with the client the training for the end users in making sure that the applications is bug free, so that we can promote the application to a production environment and give access to the end users.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Sule,
very much.
well,
No problem.
I hope it sparked the interest in you, and that you will be considering something around no code, low code. Make sure that you talk about it to your fellow students at school, so that we can
Yeah, I
have
will.
the right audience.
I
Wonderful.
will.
Thank you so much. So I'll take the opportunity, as we are in the Q&A, just to ask the two other questions that we got from the students from IPCM. So the first one is, what kind of opportunities are available for anyone with knowledge of no-code, low-code systems? Maybe Jibril, we can
Yes,
What do we
yes.
have opportunities available? Now, you know what? Now I'm thinking about also maybe making a transition in no-code, low-code. Jibril, we'll have to talk.
For sure. But this is an excellent question because we are, seeing a transition in large organization in the way they build application. Now, and this is not me saying that, it's the analyst Gartner who's, foreseeing that by 2024, which is from next year, 65% of business application will be based on no code, low code platform. So that's why, governments, large organizations are investing heavily in the, IT landscape to set up the right foundation to increase the time to market, to increase the time to deliver services. And a good example for us was during the COVID time, the state of Bavaria had to launch in a very short time frame the stimulus package for enterprise who faces the COVID issue. So the application was supposed to be launched to help, all the businesses receive that stimulus package and continue to be able to pay their employees. And with the Pega platform and the set of experts that we had in our organization, we were able to help that state of Bavaria, launch the application in 5 business days, with limited code generated, everything done at business level. So this is an example that shows why low code is important. So responding to the question is that, yes, the more we continue to grow and to mature, we will need what we call citizen developers and also professional developers who at with minimum business requirement can quickly shape a business application in very short time frame. And we are talking about 60 to 90 days delivery, and that means that the machine will do part of the job by generating the code, while expert like Paulo and Gretel will start the discover and prepare phase to help the build phase done by the developers. So there are plenty of opportunities coming. We are, many clients looking for talents who are certified in no code, low code, and that's why I encourage all people listening to us to visit the Pega Academy and, learn more about the technology and see, what type of role could be of interest for them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jibril. And that's where we are doing what we do currently at 10,000 Coders, partnering up with companies like Pega Systems. It's really to bring these opportunities to your knowledge and give you access to the path. So there are multiple things that you can do. You can reach out to 10,000 Coders. We can start to do discussions. You can go on the page of Pega, the Academy of Pega. But all of this is just to tell you there is an hour of opportunities out there. Just be aware of it. Share, overshare if necessary. Actually, overshare because it is necessary. The more you know about it, the better. So the other thing that I would like to just to share here is the fact that we at 10,000 Coders and with Pega, we really, really, really want to empower you so that you know that there is something out there after you graduate from school, because we know that that is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to knowing exactly what you want to do. You go to school, you graduate, you learn something, but what happens afterwards? I saw that we had another student coming up in the studio. Sule, we saw you earlier. I'm missing one more person.
He came.
And then he left. Oh, okay. Well, so the second question I had, actually, it happened to be Sule's question. Really. So Sule, we already answered your question. Again, when it comes to the opportunities, there are plenty of them. Pega is really full of opportunities. Probably not only Pega, but we can start really, really nicely with Pega. And to Raphael's point, making the comment that this is also where people like 10,000 Coders can help orient you to know more about the opportunities. Kebeya is also another one of our partners. So do not hesitate. 10,000 Coders, we can support you, we can sit with you, we can coach you when it comes to finding out what is a profession that is interesting for you. We're not necessarily going to push you absolutely towards, the no code, low code. There is an array of different professions that we look into. So obviously, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, Java developers, but there's also professions around digital marketing. So you have the community marketing. You also have the ones around data analysts. So reach out to 10,000 Codeurs. We're here to help. I saw there is that student came back again. No one. So there is one last thing. Well, hello, say, how are you? Can you hear us?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Jose, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us what you study at IPCM and what is your question?
Okay, my name is Roman Osiakuto from IPMC. Yeah, and I'm studying business in IT.
Right. Thank you. What question do you have? So my first question to you is, did it spark any of interest? Did it spark interest in you? Everything that was discussed, albeit the cut that we experienced. And do you have any questions to the panelists?
Yeah, my question was the kind of opportunities available for anyone with knowledge of no code, low code system.
Well, I think we just answered that question. You do have an array of opportunities. If you're studying development, for example, or any other, you can move into no code, low code. Especially when it comes to business architects. If you're curious, if you're capable of understanding clients' issues, challenges, the client operational aspect. So you definitely can have an array of opportunities. So just to come back on what I said earlier, so 10,000 Codeurs is here just to we're here to support you and to coach you, and we're here to orient you. If there is any profession that is of interest for you, we're here to make sure that you are on the right pathway, get the right skills. But also, we make sure that you are in touch with the right companies, because we give you visibility. So do not hesitate. So you have the link to the Pega Academy, which is popping up right now. You can have a look. You also have the link. We'll pop it in the on the screen. The link to 10,000 Codeurs that you can come and visit. Jibril, I'm getting you back on stage just to say very quickly. So we talked about Gebeya. Can we just talk a little bit about what we do with what Gebeya does with Pega and 10,000 Codeurs, please? Mr. Jibril?
Yes, thank you, Aisha. I think Gebeya is amazing platform for both talents and as well employers to find the right skills to scale their business and also support the digital transformation programs. So they have been working since many years to support the talent growth in Africa and help large organizations find the right skills in IT and tech. And they are now present in many countries in Africa. So, we had an initial talk with them, to see how can we collaborate further to inspire a lot of young people, learn the skills that will help them find the right job and the job that will be, something which will help them in their career. And even with Pega, we're also having discussion to see how can we help also young people, learn the Pega technology, get certified, and become available on the Gebeya marketplace. So basically, it's a marketplace where talent can find the right employers that are looking for specific skills, and also they have a set of training program to help young people learn the technology and be marketable on the platform. So amazing work that they have been doing past years.
Wonderful. So we've just presented you with an array of paths, if I may say. Just go out there, look at the Pega Academy, come to us with 10,000 Codeurs. We're here to help, we're here to support, we're here to walk you down that path, making sure that you have the right people next to you so that you can. So the main idea is really to make sure that you land where you need to land without struggling too much. You will struggle, let's be clear, but not too much. Right. Paulo, Jibril, we don't have Gretel. She had to leave, but I would love to hear from you. Any advice that you can share with the African youth, with the youth generally speaking. Paulo, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, thank you for the space. I would say that first, have a plan, right? It's important for you guys to have a plan. Make a plan, a year plan, 3 year plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan. Put on paper, because our mind work with something that we put on paper. Believe that. So have a plan. So I shared with you guys like a link to a Pega community in terms of the potential roles that each of you can pursue. And technology is exciting, right? You guys are on the right path to be successful as a professionals in Africa or worldwide, right? The world is being, it's becoming shorter and smaller. The world is becoming very connected. So I would say that believe in ourselves, have aspirations. If you wanted to have a family, if you wanted to have a really good job, if you wanted to build community, if you wanted to be a CEO, if you wanted to be a CTO. So have aspirations, put a proper plan in place, and trust yourselves.
Thank you so much, Paulo. And this is where we actually come into play. We help them having a plan and execute upon that plan. It's not, obviously it's not a fixed one, because life is in constant movement, but having a plan is the best way to get started. Jibril, any advice?
Yes. I mean, the world is constantly changing, and we are seeing, shortage of talents globally, and particularly in the tech industry. So this is huge opportunities for young people, to learn and get, the right level of expertise and be marketable. And this is an opportunity for Africa in general. This is an opportunity for African youth. And it's amazing the work 10,000 Coder has been doing to fill that gap, that talent gap, where many organizations globally are shouting, we need talents, help us get talents. And those talents now can learn even in a remote way. We've seen how COVID has changed the way people learn, the way people reskill, and this is an opportunity for all young African to learn digital transformation technology and quickly become marketable, with, as mentioned by Paulo, having a clear 2, 3, 5 year plans in their personal career growth. So I really encourage all students listening to us to take time, listen to all the remaining webinars and make a plan with the support of 10,000 coders to get to the next level.
Thank you so much, Jibril. Well, thank you to both of you. Gretel, if you're watching again, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. Thank you to the audience, albeit the technical issues that we had. So remember this. First thing first, have a plan. Going to school is absolutely key, but then what happens next? That's where 10,000 Coders is here to support you. Orientation, going to make sure that we amplify the potential that you have post-graduation, number one. Number two, make sure that you think about what you want to do after that. Once you've started the orientation, what do we do? And again, 10,000 Coders, Gebea, and then Pega systems, we just the link, one link to a big chain in order to help you to land those jobs that will be beneficial to you. Last but not least, this was the first webinar of a 3-part webinar. This was the webinar on Discover and Prepare. We still have 2 webinars coming up. I hope we will see you as many as we did today. That was a wonderful surprise. Thank you so much. So the second webinar, Build, will be held on March 7th. You do not want to miss that. We'll be deep diving into the building phase. Paolo and Gretel already showed us the entire chain when it comes to the no-code, low-code delivery. So make sure that you tune in, and we'll be talking about the build session. Prepare your questions. We'll make sure to answer them. One more time, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Pega, our sponsor and partner, for being with us. We'll see you on March 7th. Paulo, Jibril, thank you so much. Soleil, thank you for taking the time today, and we hope to see you soon.
You will. God will.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jibril.
Thank you, Aisha.
Paulo.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, Paulo.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. You bet. Bye.
Yeah.
What is Pega? No, it's not that. Or this. Impressive teamwork, though. Still no. And definitely not whatever this is. Pega's a powerful low-code platform for AI-powered decisioning and workflow automation. So you spend less time doing this. And this. And more time getting work done, like the folks at the most demanding organizations who use Pega every day. But not exactly these folks, because this is stock footage. With Pega, you hyper-personalize each and every piece of customer engagement. You streamline customer service experiences so customers and agents are both happy. To put it plainly, we help you get more done by doing less. That way, your operations team is worthy of a dramatic slow-mo. You can acquire and onboard new customers and partners faster, and you can quickly respond to problems and exceptions before they happen. Not this problem, this one. The best part? You can do it all on a collaborative low-code platform, meaning you don't have to be these guys to adapt to change at light speed. Are you ready to connect people, process, and tech across your enterprise and feel as confident as the folks still walking in slow-mo? Well, it's never been simpler. Get ready to crush your business complexity. No, not like that. Like this.
Are you looking for your next best hire but not sure where to begin? Introducing the Geber Freelance Talent Marketplace. The best of African freelance talent is on Geber.com. Choose from highly skilled software developers, product managers, digital marketers, project managers, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence experts. Connect with the right talent to accelerate any product at any stage. To get started, visit Geber.com. Next, quickly create a profile. Lastly, find the talent you need in a few clicks. Prepare for the future of your business with Geber's Pan-African, affordable, multilingual freelance talents available at your fingertips. We eliminate the guesswork and hassle for looking through endless candidate CVs. All freelance talents have passed rigorous proven vetting practices. You will only match with the best highly skilled, certified, and multilingual talent Africa has to offer. Guaranteed. Save time, energy, and cost. Visit Geber.com for your freelance talent needs. Visit, register, get matched, get to work. Geber. Best of African talents.